Across all the Zelda games, there's usually one giant looming problem that's threatening the world in some way, whether that be Calamity Ganon or the invasion of the Twilight Realm or a giant fucking moon with a face looking down at you. Also, I like how no one questions this. It's just, yeah, the moon has a face on it. Yep, that makes sense. The scariest part about the moon is that it kind of looks like Charlie Kirk's smile. What does fetus mean in Latin? Tell me what it means. Tell me! But Echoes of Wisdom introduces its own cataclysmic concept that I would venture to say is one of the most terrifying threats in the whole series, despite the game looking like this. At the beginning of the game, you play as Link, and right off the bat, he hops in the middle of 3 dark nuts and kills them all in one hit, which would never happen. But this leads me to believe that this might be one of the strongest Links in the entire series. What other Link can do that? And after some adventuring, you make it to the room that contains this scary, cataclysmic thing I'm talking about. And it ain't soft and squishy Ganon. It's this stuff, the purple stuff that sends Link into the void right before he almost murders Zelda, but thankfully the crystal that she was trapped in was actually pretty hard. Bye-bye, Link. But yeah, this void stuff, no matter how cute this game looks, this shit conceptually is terrifying. Wait, what's that noise? You could have just done that the whole time. You're telling me the only reason she was able to break out of that is because Link shot his tiny little arrow. I'm not buying it. Whatever. This is your first visual of the purple void stuff, and it obviously pops up plenty more throughout the game. You come to learn that they're called rifts, and if you go through a rift, you end up in what's called the still world. It's this horrible place where anything that gets pulled into it doesn't move. It goes still, and eventually just fades out of existence. And it's the same world where the WNBA still exists. Nightmare scenario. So right when you take control of Zelda, the first thing that you're doing is absolutely running for your life, because if you don't, you're going to go into permanent stasis and then disappear, and then you won't save Hyrule, and everyone else is going to die. It's a terrifying thought. And in classic Ducky fashion, I didn't realize I was supposed to run, so I died immediately. I can't be the only one who did this. But you run away and you make it out, and conveniently, right when you trip and fall, the rift stops moving. Plot armor goes hard. Once you get to Hyrule Castle Town, you can see the impact that these rifts are having on people. Basically, an entire house gone because a mini black hole spawned inside it and is now displacing a family. This guard next to the house lets you know that everyone in town is accounted for, but still, the idea that one day you're taking a nap at home and suddenly you're just pulled into the void is terrifying. And after seeing this, you go talk to the king, your dad, who ends up producing this beautiful noise from his mouth. And you end up finding out that the rifts are a bigger problem than you might have anticipated. They're popping up all over Hyrule, interrupting families as they go walk to get 1% milk, leaving them stuck in stasis while their kid wonders if they're ever going to come back. Monsters are popping out of these rifts and pillaging villages, and then bada boom, there's a rift in the throne room! Your father pushes you away from the rift really hard. And next thing you know, he's been consumed by it as well, along with his 2 other goons that were next to him. You're mortified. Suddenly, a black version of your father comes back. At least he's still present in your life somehow. But you can tell that that's not actually him. He's possessed, basically. His eyes are red, his breath smells a little different, and now he's ordering for you to be locked up in prison. You're thinking to yourself, fuck this guy. Now, if you're Zelda in this situation, your father just got swallowed up by the void and spit back out and is now evil. You're aware that this is a problem all over where you live. You don't know who's actually real because you know that the void is capable of mind controlling people or creating some sort of clone of them. The swordsman who defeated Ganon is gone, and you can probably assume that he wasn't even the real Ganon, and to top it all off, you're stuck in prison. What the fuck just happened in the past 30 minutes? I would be way too busy shitting my dress to do anything else. This fairy pops up and he's like, hey, here's some magical powers. Let's break out of here and try to solve this whole rift problem. No! I just pooped myself. I'm crying. I don't know what to do. See, that's me in this situation. My world is falling apart. I'm in shock. I'm panicking, and I think most people would be too. But Zelda's strong. She's capable, independent. She picks her head up and says, let's duplicate some tables. You start breaking out of prison. All these people that were once your friends, people who were sworn to protect you, are now on the hunt for you. And by on the hunt, I mean they're just standing there. But all it takes is one suspicious side eye and you're done. Ah! They are no match for me. I have jars. What the heck was that? In boxes. How do these guys get anything done? Dumbass. Ooh, there's Impa, but is it the real Impa? I don't know. But she helps you escape, so I guess she gets the pass for now. And then you make it back outside, and you start hearing more about what these rifts are doing to people. Like this guy right here, a rift swallowed up one of his neighbors. Or this guy, his wife got swallowed up by the rift. And he's like, wife, can you hear me? I'm right here. Talk about screaming into the void, am I right? Eh? Huh? She can't hear you, I'm sorry. You walk around, you see these rifts everywhere. This house is half eaten. There's a gigantic area here gone. You go inside the house of one of the victims and see him laying on the bed, just suffering. And then you talk to his brother and find out that he's been like that ever since he came back from the still world. So not only does this place randomly steal people away from reality, but if they manage to come back, they're left sick and with possibly irreversible side effects that you wouldn't know about. Chronic diarrhea, lung cancer, Ebola. Who knows what the rifts do to you? There's even a side quest where there's reportedly an extra soldier among the ranks and you have to interrogate people to find out who the imposter is. Turns out that Zelda's not the best detective though. She's like, hey, you seen any suspicious people? Wish I could help, but I haven't seen any. Okay, sounds good. Just imagine that you're one of these poor soldiers and you have to live in fear that you might not wake up one day because you're sleeping in the same room as a void monster. When you go to the Hebrew Mountains, you meet this Yeti dude named Conde, who's a super nice guy, but 30 seconds into talking to him, he invites you over to his house, which made me wish that I had a pepper spray echo or something like that. Or a Glock. But you follow him anyway. What's the worst that can happen? You walk inside his house with him, and the second that door shuts behind you, you end up learning about how he's been waiting for his big brother to return. I was really hoping they'd pull a Twilight Princess on us here. But eventually he finds his big brother, who ends up leaving him without saying anything, and poor Conde is sad. He's like, why wouldn't my brother talk to me? And then you find his big brother again, and you see that he beat up Conde brutally and viciously, and it's sad because he's just a dumb, silly, naive Yeti who has no idea what's going on, when in reality, a rift ate his brother, and he's now dealing with it. And then you end up killing his big brother, an echo of him. But here's my point in saying all of this. Echoes of Wisdom might have the cutest art style of any Zelda game, on par with the Link's Awakening remake, of course, but I want to make the argument that it would be one of the worst to live in. In Majora's Mask, you've got the moon. It's getting closer and closer as time goes on. It's got that weird-ass face, and yes, it sucks, but you know that your days are numbered. You know that everyone around you is also going to die with you at the same time when the moon collides with the planet. It's a matter of acceptance. I think the most similar Zelda game to what's going on here is Twilight Princess, with the Twilight Realm and people turning into spirits, which would also be a pretty shitty world to live in. At least when you're in spirit form, you don't know that you're a spirit, so it's kind of an ignorance is bliss type of thing. But in this one, it's like, my wife is gone. Oh, wait, she's right here. Wait, I don't know if that's my real wife. Little Jimmy didn't come back from school today. Did he get eaten by a rift, or is he in detention? Is this the rapture? Did the Bible predict this? Honey, get the Bible! This whole situation is insane. I just cannot imagine the anxiety that comes along with living through this, and everyone's fate comes down to one person who was previously trapped in a crystal, and Link got one single arrow shot off that managed to weaken the crystal enough to where she could get out and save everyone. But you know what Zelda couldn't save, and what I think is possibly the most horrifying thing in Echoes of Wisdom? The fact that the goddamn item selection UI from Tears of the Kingdom returned. Come on, where is it? Where is this one item that I need in this stack of 120? God damn it.